What if the one thing you thought would make you more beautiful destroyed your life forever? We're talking surgeries gone so wrong that doctors walked out. Faces so unrecognizable that parents couldn't tell who their own child was. And one story, number one on this list, involved a teenager whose parents spent over $620,000, and it only got worse from there. This is the countdown of 20 celebrity plastic surgery disasters. And I promise you, by the time we hit number one, your jaw will be on the floor. Let's go. Number 20. Zhou Chuna. Zhou Chuna, a Chinese influencer, began her plastic surgery journey at 13, not for vanity, but survival. Bullied at school, taunted with cruel nicknames, given humiliating tasks, she concluded, if I look different, maybe they'll treat me better. Her parents paid for double eyelid surgery, and treatment improved. Encouraged, she continued. By 17, she had over 100 procedures, fillers, rhinoplasty, Barbie eye surgery, breast implants, liposuction. Surgeries left scars and memory loss. Even the pandemic didn't stop her, 20 operations in 1 year. Her parents spent over $620,000. She threatened to quit school if refused. She claims it was worth it. Today, she has hundreds of thousands of followers, sharing her journey. Some praise her, others worry. She achieved what she sought. Bullying ended, fame arrived, acceptance came, but at tremendous cost to her health, identity, and body. Her story raises a stark question. When does change stop being empowerment and become escape? Zhou's journey began as a child's attempt to survive cruelty, evolved into obsession, and remains unfinished. It's a cautionary tale, a reflection on trauma, self-perception, and the human cost of extreme transformation. Number 19. Pixie Fox. Pixie Fox has been open about her goal, to look like a living cartoon. Originally from Sweden and later based in the US, she has undergone over 20 procedures pursuing an animated aesthetic, drawing global attention and medical debate. Her surgeries include multiple breast augmentations, liposuction, facial fillers, brow lift, and body contouring. She has discussed rib removal for a smaller waist, a rare, controversial procedure, plus facial work refining features into a doll-like form. Surgeons Terry Dubrow and Paul Nassif of Botched declined further procedures, citing serious medical risks. Despite warnings, Fox continues discussing future modifications. Her appearance is her brand. She shares her cartoon look widely on social media, attracting both admirers and critics concerned about influence on young audiences. Fox defends her choices, saying she pursues happiness and lives authentically, arguing bodily autonomy is essential. Her story is referenced in debates about surgery limits, ethical responsibilities, and psychological boundaries in extreme modification. It raises questions. When does enhancement become harm? When do patient wishes conflict with do no harm? Pixie Fox sits at the intersection of personal freedom, medical ethics, and society's beauty standards. Her case is a striking example of extreme aesthetic pursuit, contrasting with other stories of caution, regret, or tragedy. Number 18. Carrot Top. Carrot Top, born Scott Thompson, built a career on being unforgettable. Bright red hair, explosive energy, and rapid-fire prop comedy made him a fixture on late-night television and a longtime Las Vegas headliner. His act was loud, physical, and impossible to ignore. As he entered his 50s, public attention shifted from punchlines to appearance. His jawline looked sharper, skin tighter, and features more sculpted than many remembered. Side-by-side photos circulated online, fueling speculation about cosmetic procedures. Rumors spread quickly. Carrot Top responded in character, crediting intense workouts, disciplined nutrition, and strict fitness routines for his look. With humor, he joked that dramatic surgery would make him look far more extreme. The comedy softened scrutiny, but did not erase it. Observers debated whether his changes reflected fitness, cosmetic enhancement, aging, lighting, or a mix. What is clear is that his appearance evolved noticeably. Rather than treat speculation as scandal, he wove it into his act. Turning questions into punchlines let him control the narrative. His approach reflects how male celebrities navigate appearance changes, framing transformation around fitness, humor, and persona rather than confirmation. Through it all, Carrot Top continues performing, exercising, and embracing ambiguity, keeping the audience guessing while staying true to his brand. Number 17. Joan Van Ark. Joan Van Ark has chosen not to publicly engage with speculation about her appearance. There have been no interviews confirming cosmetic procedures, no formal denials, and no detailed explanations, only silence. During her early career, she was celebrated for a classic Hollywood elegance that defined an era of television. As Valine Ewing on Knots Landing, she became a familiar and beloved presence for 14 seasons. Her look felt natural, expressive, and relatable to millions of viewers. In more recent appearances, observers have noted visible changes. Widely shared photographs have sparked online discussion, with side-by-side comparisons circulating across social media and entertainment sites. Some commentators have speculated about possible cosmetic procedures, but these opinions are based solely on images rather than personal medical knowledge. It is important to recognize that photographs across decades can be misleading. Lighting, camera angles, makeup, aging, health factors, and even weight changes can significantly alter how someone appears. Without confirmation from Van Ark herself, conclusions remain speculative. She has never directly addressed the rumors, and in celebrity culture, silence often fuels curiosity rather than quiets it. Today, Van Ark largely maintains privacy, appearing occasionally at industry events while living away from the spotlight. Whether her evolving appearance reflects personal choices or simply the natural process of aging remains known only to her. Number 16. Heidi Montag. Free can sound irresistible until the real cost isn't financial. Heidi Montag, known from Laguna Beach and the Hills, was offered complimentary cosmetic procedures reportedly worth thousands of dollars. With no upfront payment and multiple enhancements included, she agreed at just 23 years old. What followed was an intense series of surgeries performed in a single day, lasting many hours. Multiple procedures were completed during one extended operation. In later interviews, she described the recovery as physically painful and emotionally overwhelming. Heavy medication, swelling, bruising, and limited mobility made simple tasks difficult. At the same time, intense public scrutiny magnified the experience, as media outlets documented her transformation and recovery. Looking back, Montag has spoken candidly about how young she was when she made that decision. She has reflected on the pressures of fame, insecurity, and the belief that physical changes might resolve deeper emotional concerns. Over time, she explained that external transformation did not automatically erase internal struggles. Her perspective eventually shifted. Rather than condemning cosmetic surgery outright, she emphasizes careful consideration, understanding motivations, researching qualified professionals, and weighing long-term implications. She has also discussed how reality television and social media can amplify unrealistic beauty standards. Years later, she chose to revise some earlier procedures due to discomfort, underscoring that cosmetic decisions can have lasting consequences. Number 15. Priscilla Presley. Priscilla Presley's name has often surfaced in discussions about celebrity cosmetic controversies, largely due to allegations that she may have trusted the wrong practitioner. Over the years, surgeons commenting publicly on media photographs have speculated about possible facial fillers or surgical procedures. These observations, however, were based solely on images, not medical records or confirmed details. Presley herself has never publicly outlined specific treatments, maintaining privacy regarding her personal decisions. The controversy intensified due to reports involving Daniel Serrano, who allegedly presented himself as a qualified cosmetic professional. Authorities later determined he was not licensed to practice medicine. Investigations concluded that substances he administered to clients were not approved for cosmetic facial use and posed serious health risks. Serrano was eventually arrested and convicted on charges related to practicing medicine without a license and using unauthorized materials. Presley has not publicly detailed her involvement, but media coverage frequently linked her name to the broader case. The situation raised wider concerns about patient safety, informed consent, and the importance of verified medical credentials. Her story is often cited as a reminder that cosmetic procedures require licensed professionals, regulated products, and accredited medical environments. Regardless of fame or resources, proper oversight and verified qualifications are essential safeguards. Number 14. Sharon Osbourne. Sharon Osbourne has always been open about cosmetic procedures. Over the years, she has discussed facelifts, eye lifts, neck lifts, and non-surgical treatments in interviews and on television. Transparency has long been part of her public identity, and she never treated the topic as secret or taboo. However, a facelift she underwent in her 70s marked a turning point. The procedure reportedly lasted several hours, and afterwards she expressed deep disappointment with the results. In later interviews, she described noticeable facial asymmetry that left her unsettled and struggling emotionally. She has said she sensed something was wrong shortly after surgery and felt distressed by the outcome. In her autobiography, Unbreakable, she had already detailed decades of cosmetic enhancements and revisions. Living in the public eye, she often spoke about the pressure to maintain a certain image while aging in entertainment. For many years, procedures were simply part of that reality. This experience changed her perspective. She later stated publicly that she was finished with major cosmetic surgery, acknowledging the increased risks and longer recovery that can come with age. She reflected on the limits of repeatedly altering appearance and the importance of accepting natural aging. Osbourne's candor has contributed to broader conversations about cosmetic choices, personal agency, and the pressures of visibility in celebrity culture. Number 13. Linda Evangelista. Linda Evangelista was one of the defining faces of the supermodel era, appearing on hundreds of magazine covers alongside icons like Naomi Campbell and Cindy Crawford. Her story, however, centers not on traditional surgery, but on a non-invasive cosmetic treatment marketed as simple and low risk. Between 2015 and 2016, she underwent multiple sessions of cool sculpting, an FDA-cleared fat reduction procedure designed to freeze and gradually eliminate fat cells. It required no anesthesia and promised minimal downtime. Instead of reduction, she later developed enlargements in treated areas and was diagnosed with paradoxical adipose hyperplasia, a rare complication in which fat cells grow and harden rather than shrink. The condition does not respond to diet or exercise and can require corrective surgery. Evangelista spoke publicly about withdrawing from modeling due to the physical and emotional impact, describing the experience as devastating. She filed a lawsuit against the treatment's parent company, alleging inadequate warning about the risk. A settlement was later reached. Her case drew attention to the reality that non-surgical does not mean risk-free, and that even approved procedures can carry uncommon but serious complications. Number 12. Jessica Alves. Jessica Alves, formerly known as Rodrigo Alves, has undergone one of the most widely documented transformations in modern celebrity culture. Born in Sao Paulo, Brazil, she has shared that she identified as feminine from an early age and experienced bullying and deep discomfort with her assigned gender. For her, medical procedures were not framed as simple cosmetic changes, but as part of a gender-affirming journey toward living authentically. Over the years, Alves has reported undergoing more than 100 procedures, including numerous major surgeries. These have included rhinoplasties, breast augmentation, facial feminization procedures, liposuction, and various non-surgical treatments. Some operations led to serious complications, requiring corrective care. Despite the risks and recoveries, she has consistently stated that she does not regret her decisions. Alves speaks openly about body autonomy, gender identity, and the psychological relief she felt as her appearance aligned more closely with her sense of self. Her story intersects with broader discussions about transgender healthcare, medical ethics, and the distinction between elective cosmetic work and gender-affirming treatment. Her journey is complex and deeply personal, shaped by conviction, risk, and resilience. Number 11. Michael Jackson. No discussion of dramatic celebrity transformations feels complete without Michael Jackson. Compare images from his Jackson 5 years to those taken later in life, and the change is striking. His evolving appearance fueled decades of media scrutiny and public debate about identity, race, and the pressures of fame. Jackson acknowledged undergoing rhinoplasty after breaking his nose in the late 1970s, stating publicly that he had limited procedures. Over time, however, observers speculated about additional surgeries, pointing to visible refinements in his facial features. Exact numbers were never confirmed, and medical records remained private, leaving much of the discussion based on photographs rather than documented fact. It is also essential to recognize that Jackson lived with vitiligo, a medically documented skin condition that causes loss of pigmentation. He spoke about it publicly in a 1993 interview with Oprah Winfrey, explaining that makeup was used to create an even skin tone as depigmentation progressed. Dermatological reports later confirmed the condition. Multiple factors likely contributed to his changing appearance, including medical issues, cosmetic procedures, styling, lighting, and natural aging. Yet the focus on his looks often overshadowed his extraordinary cultural impact. Jackson reshaped global music, revolutionized the music video format, and influenced generations of performers. His story reflects both immense artistic legacy and the intense psychological pressures of lifelong fame. Number 10. Jackie Stallone. Jackie Stallone, mother of Sylvester Stallone, was 91 when she spoke candidly about her cosmetic surgery journey. Her self-assessment was famously blunt. She joked that she looked like a chipmunk with a mouthful of walnuts, delivering the line with sharp humor and zero self-pity. There was no PR filter, just honesty from someone who had stopped worrying about public opinion. Over the years, Jackie underwent multiple procedures, including facelifts, lip injections, and fillers. Her dramatic appearance became part of her public identity, alongside her astrology career and her promotion of rumpology. She later admitted that some choices didn't bring the results she'd hoped for, acknowledging that chasing youth had sometimes made her look less natural rather than refreshed. It was rare public accountability in an industry that often denies or deflects. Despite setbacks, her later years showed remarkable resilience. She survived serious health challenges and the devastating loss of her son, Sage Stallone, in 2012. Yet well into her 90s, she exercised regularly, practiced piano for hours, and maintained an active professional life. What makes her story compelling isn't just surgery, it's reflection. She spoke openly about aging in Hollywood, the fear of invisibility, and the emotional vulnerability behind cosmetic decisions. When she passed away in 2020 at 98, she left behind a legacy defined less by procedures and more by unapologetic self-acceptance. Number 9. Donatella Versace. Donatella Versace has never publicly confirmed or denied cosmetic procedures and rarely addresses speculation, keeping the privacy many high-profile figures prefer. Yet her evolving appearance has drawn intense scrutiny, making her one of the most analyzed figures in fashion discussions about aesthetic enhancement. Comparisons of photos from the 1980s and 1990s to recent images show noticeable changes. Observers point to a smooth forehead, fuller cheeks, altered lips, and a refined nose. Certain 2014 event photos reignited discussion online, with cosmetic professionals suggesting regular Botox or dermal fillers might explain her taut look. These assessments are based on images alone. No examination or medical confirmation exists. Conclusions remain speculative. Regardless, her impact on fashion is indisputable. After her brother's 1997 murder, Donatella assumed leadership of the Versace empire, shaping decades of style, branding, and luxury influence. Her platinum hair, bold aesthetic, and signature glamour cemented her as a cultural icon beyond the runway. Fashion relentlessly evaluates appearance, often more than work. Whether her transformation stems from procedures, styling, makeup, aging, or natural variation, it has been widely discussed. Yet she has maintained her creative role, produced influential collections, and preserved the brand's prestige. Her legacy in design, branding, and luxury aesthetics remain secure. Number 8, by contrast, shared her surgery journey openly, sh. Number 8, Katie Price. Katie Price has never softened her choices for public approval or apologized for living life on her terms. During her early modeling career in the late 1990s and early 2000s, especially as glamour model Jordan, she kept a natural look despite industry pressure to enhance appearances. In her late 20s and early 30s, she increasingly underwent cosmetic procedures, which became a defining part of her public image, sometimes overshadowing business ventures, TV appearances, and personal life. By the mid-2000s, she openly discussed her surgeries, even calling herself totally plastic in a self-aware, defiant way. Over the following decade, she altered her appearance through multiple procedures: breast augmentations, Botox, fillers, liposuction, and other enhancements she discussed in her autobiography and reality shows. Public appearances in the late 2010s reignited discussion, with reports of revisions, especially breast implants removed, replaced, enlarged, or reduced, a pattern some surgeons deemed risky. Medical experts note repeated procedures increase long-term risks such as infection, tissue damage, scarring, and complications harder to correct. Price maintains her body is her choice, framing surgeries as autonomy and self-expression. She cites body image struggles, industry pressure, relationship insecurities, and aging, making her transformation understandable. Debate continues around freedom versus medical caution. Love her choices or not, her commitment to reinvention and refusal to be shamed is clear. She embodies a celebrity living entirely on her own terms. Number 7, Cardi B. Cardi B built her career on blunt honesty and has been equally candid about cosmetic procedures, sharing both her choices and regrets. Early as a stripper in New York, she received illegal buttock injections in a basement apartment. The injections contained dangerous biopolymer, industrial-grade silicone not intended for humans, administered by an unlicensed person. She paid around $800 under pressure to meet hip-hop beauty standards and boost her income. The decision nearly cost her life. She endured severe pain, swelling, difficulty sitting, and constant fear about the substances inside her body. Years later, after gaining financial means, she underwent expensive surgery to remove as much biopolymer as possible, though full removal is often impossible once the material disperses. Cardi has shared her story publicly, warning her audience about unlicensed injectors and underground procedures. Reports linked the injector to serious medical consequences for multiple women, including hospitalizations, infections, disfigurement, and at least one death. Cardi acknowledges she was fortunate to survive without catastrophic outcomes. She has never opposed professional cosmetic surgery, undergoing legal rhinoplasty by a board-certified surgeon, plus safe breast augmentation and liposuction. Her message is clear: cosmetic procedures themselves aren't the problem. It's who performs them, where, and how. Only licensed professionals in accredited facilities should operate. Cardi B's openness likely saved lives, cautioning young women against dangerous shortcuts. For her, transformation isn't the issue, risk is. Number 6, Nevin Saganovic. Nevin Saganovic, a Croatian reality TV personality, stylist, and influencer, has openly discussed multiple cosmetic procedures to achieve his ideal aesthetic. At 45, he traveled abroad for rhinoplasty, seeking a more affordable option than in Croatia. Medical tourism is common, but carries risks patients don't always anticipate. After surgery, Saganovic suffered a rare complication, priapism, a prolonged, painful erection linked to anesthesia. Priapism is a medical emergency. Without prompt care, it can cause permanent erectile tissue damage. He had to cut short recovery and urgently return to Belgrade for emergency treatment, which included draining blood, medication, and, in severe cases, surgery, painful procedures on top of his initial recovery. The incident drew international attention, exposing risks of medical tourism, limited follow-up, unfamiliar surgeons, language barriers, insurance gaps, and delayed emergency care. Despite this, Saganovic has not ruled out future cosmetic procedures, though he has not clarified whether they will be abroad or local. His story is a cautionary reminder that even routine procedures carry unpredictable risks, and seeking the cheapest option can create greater costs and dangers. Cosmetic enhancement may seem straightforward, but complications, especially overseas, highlight the need for safety, proper planning, and qualified medical oversight. Number 5 shifts to a globally recognized celebrity whose decades-long transformation sparked worldwide debate, intense media scrutiny, and conversations about identity, beauty standards, and pressures from childhood fame. Number 5, Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell built a career on blunt honesty, but in 2023, he admitted he had gone too far with cosmetic procedures. At one point, he said he barely recognized himself in the mirror. A startling statement for someone known worldwide from shows like American Idol, The X Factor, and Britain's Got Talent. The wake-up call came from his young son, Eric, who reacted with confusion to Cowell's altered appearance after aggressive filler treatments. That moment prompted him to reconsider his choices. Cowell had fillers dissolved and stepped back from frequent cosmetic interventions, instead focusing on non-invasive approaches, professional skincare, healthier diet, regular exercise, hydration, sleep, and overall well-being. What makes Cowell's story remarkable is that he admitted regret and changed course, a rarity in an industry that rewards perfection and punishes vulnerability. Many celebrities defend or hide their choices. Cowell confronted his mistakes publicly, showing that even someone with a carefully curated image can recalibrate mid-journey. He reframed the experience as a lesson in balance, self-perception, and knowing when enough is enough. Unlike others on this list who pursue extreme alterations, Cowell chose a sustainable path, accepting aging rather than fighting it. His transparency and self-awareness stand in stark contrast to the dramatic, irreversible transformations that dominate celebrity cosmetic culture. Number 4 moves to a case where pursuit of enhancement backfired, requiring extensive corrective surgery and sparking debate about surgical ethics and patient psychology. Number 4, Rudgy Naranizing. This wasn't just a cosmetic mishap. It was a predatory crime. Rudgy Naranizing, actress, activist, and transgender woman, sought low-cost filler injections from O'Neal Ron Morris, the Duchess, in Miami while struggling financially. Promised medical-grade silicone, she was instead injected with toxic industrial substances, cement, tire sealant, fix-a-flat, superglue, and other adhesives never meant for humans. The effects were immediate: painful swelling, hardened nodules, inflammation, chronic discomfort, and disfigurement. For months, she endured physical pain and emotional trauma, shame, depression, and isolation, while trying to understand what had happened. Naranizing later appeared on Botched, where Dr. Terry Dubrow and Dr. Paul Nassif removed as much material as possible. Multiple surgeries were required, and complete removal proved impossible due to tissue spread. Despite this, she became an advocate, warning vulnerable communities about unlicensed procedures and predatory practitioners. The Duchess was eventually arrested and convicted after multiple victims came forward, including at least one death. The case highlighted the dangers marginalized populations face when seeking underground cosmetic treatments. Naranizing's story underscores the importance of licensed care, regulated substances, sterile environments, and informed consent. Her resilience turned tragedy into advocacy, protecting others from similar harm. Number 3 follows a celebrity who recognized risks early and stopped before reaching a point of no return, showing that self-awareness can prevent disaster even in an appearance-obsessed industry. Number 3, Anastasia Pokrashuk. Anastasia Pokrashuk, from Kyiv, Ukraine, is one of the most controversial figures in extreme cosmetic transformation and social media body modification. Her journey began with standard procedures, Botox, dental veneers, chin contouring, and liposuction, but she became obsessed with dermal fillers for facial volume. Remarkably, she began injecting herself at home, without medical training or supervision, following online tutorials and internet research. Pokrachuk claims to use sterilized equipment and pharmaceutical-grade products, but medical experts warn that self-injection carries extreme risks. Infection, tissue necrosis, nerve damage, stroke, blindness, allergic reactions, and permanent disfigurement. Home settings cannot replicate sterile clinical environments or emergency readiness. Despite repeated warnings, she continues self-administering fillers and document her results on social media, where her exaggerated cheek enhancements dominate her appearance and brand. She has even expressed a desire to set records for the largest cheek fillers, treating potential disfigurement as achievement. Her story exemplifies the dangers of DIY cosmetic procedures, body dysmorphia, and the illusion that online tutorials can replace professional training. It raises questions about personal autonomy, social media influence, and whether platforms should allow content that could inspire dangerous imitation. Extreme and controversial, Pokrachuk's choices are bold and visible, but the risks are real. Her case contrasts sharply with number 2, which moves from risky personal choice to predatory behavior, harming multiple vulnerable people. Number 2, Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke's dramatic transformation is often misunderstood. His surgeries weren't driven by vanity or Hollywood perfection. They began as medical necessity. In the early 1990s, at the height of his acting career, Rourke left films to pursue professional boxing, a lifelong passion. Years of intense competition left him with repeated broken noses, damaged cheekbones, a split tongue, and other facial trauma. When he returned to acting in the late 1990s, the injuries were visibly apparent. His subsequent procedures were primarily reconstructive, attempts to repair cumulative damage rather than elective cosmetic enhancements. He later admitted choosing the wrong surgeon worsened results, creating new problems while trying to fix existing ones. This led to a cycle of corrective surgeries that gradually moved his appearance farther from his original look. Rourke has spoken candidly about his regrets, imperfect results, and impact on career and self-image. Public discussion often overlooked the medical context, reducing his story to vanity or mockery. His Oscar-nominated role in The Wrestler, 2008, was poignant, as the character's broken-down appearance mirrored his real struggles, turning his altered face into an asset. His experience highlights that not all extreme transformations start with aesthetic ambition. Some begin with injury, medical necessity, and the imperfect process of restoring function and appearance, a journey that can spiral into complications and public scrutiny. Number 1 takes a different turn, involving personal choice, psychological factors, and ethical dilemmas that raise serious questions about surgical limits. Number 1, Hang My-oku. Hang My-oku, a successful South Korean model and singer in the 1980s, became obsessed with achieving perfect skin. Routine cosmetic procedures escalated into frequent, compulsive treatments driven by a mental fixation others could not see. Multiple doctors eventually refused further operations, citing psychological concerns and serious physical risks. Undeterred, My-oku obtained injectable substances outside medical supervision, self-administering fillers at home. When approved materials were no longer available, she began injecting cooking oil into her face, a catastrophic choice causing severe swelling, tissue damage, infection, and permanent disfigurement. Complex corrective surgeries removed some material, but her face remained permanently altered. The emotional and psychological toll was devastating. She became isolated, depressed, unable to work, and faced the irreversible consequences of her obsession. Her story is widely cited in medical literature as a cautionary example of body dysmorphic disorder, cosmetic addiction, and the dangers of pursuing impossible beauty ideals without proper mental health support. My-oku's case raises critical ethical questions. When should medical professionals intervene? How should society address harmful beauty standards? And what responsibilities exist to protect vulnerable individuals? Today, She lives quietly with family, her greatest wish to return to her natural appearance. Her tragedy highlights how extreme cosmetic pursuit can destroy lives when psychological support is absent and safety is ignored. 20 stories, 20 lives shaped, and in many cases scarred by the pursuit of something different, something better, something more. Some made choices they regret. Some were deceived. Some were desperate. And some are just kids trying to survive. The lesson isn't that plastic surgery is wrong. The lesson is that no procedure, no matter how perfect, can fix what's broken on the inside. If this hit you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment with which story shocked you most. And if you're new here, subscribe, because the stories we tell here are the ones that actually matter. We'll see you in the next one.